Word Change Choir. Give them a hand. Give them a hand. Certainly we're happy to be with you another Saturday morning for the Saturday Action Rally for you that are live in the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street in the village of Harlem. And for you that are listening live on 1190 WLIB AM in New York, and we'll be joined shortly going national on Impact Television Network. We're happy to be with you another Saturday morning where the action is. Give a hand to our presider, Attorney Michael Hardy. And certainly with all this cold weather, all of you that could have stayed home and watched it on TV or that could have heard it on the radio, that come out anyway to be part of the action, give yourselves a big hand. We are joined by our Impact audience in a minute, and let me say this. As we enter this new year, and I want to give a New Year's message that is a little different than what you're going to hear from a lot of the watch night services. But I think that it is imperative that people end the year the way they live the year. And you that have weathered the storm, snow and cold, this is what you've done all year. And I want y'all to know that's the real soldiers. Activists is not those that show up when the issue is hot. Activists are those that make the issue hot. Let us welcome our family, our television family on Impact Television. 2 days ago, I went to the hospital in Brooklyn called by Esau Garner, the widow of Eric Garner. And one of the things that is never really talked about in media is that these families that we have fought for, from Howard Beach 31 years ago all the way to now, we get involved and try to provide full service for them. And we become like family. The reason we do that, you must remember when a policeman kills someone, the police union comes in and gives full service to that policeman, whether that policeman is prosecuted or not, whether he's guilty or not. And the union is an institution that that policeman can depend on. A family can't go up against an institution without an institution. So they need full service. They need more. They need the rallies. They need the attention. But they also need somebody to be their comfort and their guide and to help them do things like walk through the different things in life. Nobody volunteered to be a victim. So they didn't train for the day that they were going to face this. So those of us that are committed step in and say, we can help you with counseling. We can help you with taking care of the children. We can help you with resources. And it's not that we ever get a dime or ask for a dime back. Y'all done read all kind of crazy stuff on me. You ain't never heard a victim say I asked them for nothing. Some of them got millions of dollars of settlement. I didn't even ask for money back because this is what we do. This is what we do. So several days ago, Esau Garner called me and said, Rev, she started crying. She said, Rev, Erica had a heart attack. I said, a heart attack? Erica is 27 years old. And I said, what happened? She says, I don't know. I'm on my way to the hospital. I always call you first. I didn't even call nobody else. So I called around to the staff, and I was already halfway to the hospital. And when I must say, it was Christmas morning. I was coming here to feed the homeless. Meet me at de Blasio, fed the homeless with us. But I went to Woodhull Hospital first, and Erica was laying there in the bed on life support. And I thought about how for the last 3.5 years, how we have fought with this family. And Erica was the activist and the one that was really became a warrior. And she would she would call me direct. I want to try this tactic. I said, I don't agree with that. Well, but we debated and she do what she do, but I had her back and we bonded. And to see her lying there was something that, you know, at 27 years old, you just can't prepare for. So I called Erica Esau back and said, I'm at the hospital. I'll come back. Then 2 days ago, she called and we all went out there together. And I want to really make this very clear. Yesterday afternoon, I got a call from Esau. And Esau said to me, Reverend Allen, she started talking and she broke down and cried. And I said, what's wrong? She said, I just got a call from the hospital. And Esau calls his Eric Gardner's wife. And she said that they just told me that Erica is doing worse and might not make it. I said, well, wait a minute. I thought they said that they were going to make a decision by Monday. And she said, yeah, but I don't know what's going on. And Emerald, who stood up, her sister's a strong person, took the phone and said, Rev, is looking worse. I said, well, y'all know we have the annual businessmen that help to give a lot to NAN retreat. I don't have to go. I can come back early. They said, no, go, but we want you to know what's going on. Early this morning when I came out of the gym, working out about 6:15, Esau called me crying and said that Erica died this morning. And I just left the hospital and brought Esau to see the body and Emerald and the grandmother. And at 27 years old, Erica Snipes Gardner has died. I want you to know, though, she was a warrior to the end. And she stood up for justice for her father. The media will say that Erica died of a heart attack. But that's only partially true because her heart was already broken when she couldn't get justice for her father. Whatever the asthma and the others attacked was a piece of the heart left. Her heart was attacked by a system that would choke her daddy and not hold accountable those that did it. And if anything she would want us to do in memory of her is keep fighting for justice and keep fighting for fairness. And as long as there's a National Action Network, which I hope will be much longer than there'll be an Al Sharpton, we will be the house that you come to get justice. Long live the memory and spirit of Erica Snipes Gardner. Give her a big hand. Give her a big hand. Erica gone on to get her reward. Erica Gardner. I think it is important as we close this year. It's a sobering thought that you see young folk, 27, dying of natural causes. Because everybody acts like you gotta be a certain age to go. Every day you get up, you better live it to the fullest and live it with real meaning. Because you never know, nobody guaranteed you no age that you were going to get to. People get up every morning, jump out the bed like they had another day coming. I be watching folk on their smartphone. Let me see what the weather gonna be like tomorrow. Like you guaranteed to be here tomorrow. Every day, you should live to the fullest and live for a purpose. Y'all that follow me on social media, I do an Instagram every morning giving inspirational thoughts because I want to put on people's minds something every morning to base their day. Because I wake up with something on my mind. Don't, be deliberate about life. Reason why you ain't getting nowhere is you ain't headed nowhere. You ain't got nothing on your mind. Plan to get something done. One of the worst things in the world is that we just live at random. I remember there used to be a song back in the day, living for the weekend. And you go to the club and Michael Hart and them be up there living for the weekend. That's when I party down, party hard. So you ain't working because you believe in nothing. You ain't working because you enjoying it. You just living for the weekend. You living for a party. So what value of that? If you yourself say all I'm living for is fun and games. So when you die, who cares? What am I supposed to say? I tell people that all the time. Don't be asking me to speak at your funeral when you ain't gave me nothing to say. What am I supposed to tell people? The fun is over? I did a eulogy at Michael Jackson's funeral. We was coming after burial that night. And the artist, very well known, if I called his name, you would know it, said to me, Red Mal, I said, yeah. He said, you really moved me with that eulogy. I said, well, thank you. He said, no, it really got to me. I said, well, thank you. He said, when I go, I want you to do a eulogy for me just like that. I said, well, you got to give me something to work with. Erica stood for something in 27 years. What many of y'all twice that age have never stood for. I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm not saying don't enjoy life, but also have a part of your life that's committed to something bigger than you. Don't just live in the life of self-indulgence. Live a life of meaning. Don Jones talked about Kwanzaa. We recognize Kwanzaa every year. They're doing it right after the broadcast today. The principle of Kwanzaa today, Nia, purpose. You should have a purpose in life. You should ask yourself every morning, what is the purpose for my life? What am I about? And every decision you make, what you read, what music you listen to, where you go to school, how you work, everything you do ought to complement your purpose. I was called to preach when I was a little boy. Became a social justice activist preacher when I was 12 years old. Everything I've done in life, whether it was with entertainers, whether it's been on radio or TV, is to complement that ministry. I never left the core purpose. I got James Brown to go join and help get Dr. King's birthday. I got Michael to come to the House of Justice here and talk about what they were doing in blacks in the music industry. I didn't join another purpose. I had them complement the purpose we're in. Have one line purpose. Ask yourself, what is my purpose? Your purpose ain't got to be mine. But you ought to at least know what your purpose is. And Erica Gardner knew her purpose and lived up to it. You ask the average person, what's happening? Ain't nothing going on, man. That's about right. You ain't got nothing going on. You told the truth. I saw a guy grew up the other day. Hey, man, what's up? Just hanging. Last time I saw him 30 years ago, he was just hanging. Purpose. So if you do anything this new year coming in, between now and tomorrow night, put in your mind your purpose for the rest of your life. Have that in mind when midnight strikes and commit yourself. People tell me all the time, Red Mal, I make New Year's resolutions and can't keep them. You can't resolve something unless you understand the purpose that you're resolving it for. Quit lying to yourself every New Year's Eve. I'm going to give up this, I'm going to give up that. You can't hold it to February. Because you never resolved your purpose. I'm going to lose weight. Why are you eating pig feet on New Year's Eve night?
All right.
Sit up with a plate full of pig feet, black-eyed peas, and potato salad with too much mayonnaise, talking about, I'm going to lose weight this year. What is it, collard greens? That must have been Phoenix back then. Ordering his food already. Phoenix can tell you right now what he's going to eat tomorrow night. So, I want us to be cognizant of purpose. But there's another thing I want us to understand. When we talk about the new year, African Americans, black Americans need to understand their history with this. All over America, black churches have watch night service. Many of us don't understand what was the origins of watch night. I want y'all to follow me slow now. Dominique Johnson, our head of huddle, I want our young folk to understand the history of this. We do not give people the background. I see my other daughter, Victoria Purnell, she probably noticed. Stand up, Victoria. Y'all welcome her home. I'm so glad to see her. In 1862, blacks were in chattel slavery. We worked for no wages. We were a labor force that made cotton king, used tobacco road, and made the country what it was as a major industrial country that you did not have to pay for. I want y'all to get this, because y'all run around here talking about what the president is tweeting about, like we all are in the same circumstance. We were slaves 1862. The Union and the Confederates started debating about tariffs and about what was going to be the economic arrangements in this country in terms of imports, exports, tariffs, whether the northern industrialists were in charge or the southern agrarian aristocracy. The way to break the South was you had to remove from them their wealth base. You know, we talk about how all of us come over here in different ships, different boats, but we're in the same ship now. Well, all of us didn't come over here the same way. Some came to seek refuge and fight poverty, refugees. Some came to flee persecution. We did not come here as refugees or fleeing persecution. We were brought here, sold into slavery. Don't compare our trip across Atlantic with anybody. Now we're on the same land now, but we didn't come across different ships on the same ride. That is not true. So when people tell me that y'all always playing the race card, we got here on the race card. I want to be real clear on that. People talk about, well, man, y'all need to back down up off that race thing. We are in a race deck. Whatever card I pull got to be a race card because the whole deck is stacked on race. Now, we can make progress, we can heal wounds, but let's not lie about the premise. Don't undo my history to sanitize yours. Don't deny what I went through just because I got through. I didn't get through because many wanted us to. I got through because I was stronger than you thought. And there was a God that gave me mercy that you wouldn't give me. We went through 1862 and Lincoln had had enough of the rebellion of the Confederates. And he said to the Confederates that y'all need to come and unite. And if you don't, in 100 days, I'm going to free the slaves. I'm going to let them walk off the plantation. And I'm going, here's something, Reverend Jesse Jackson, my mentor called me this week, made me read the Emancipation Proclamation, something we missed. He said, not only am I going to free them, Dr. Bright, he said, I'm going to let them bear arms and fight for the Union Army. Quote was that they can bear arms to the ports, to the garrisons, and fight. Now, imagine the thought now. Right. 2 or 3 generations you've been enslaved against the law to read and write, against the law to have a wife or a husband, against the law to name your child after you. Now you're being told that you can walk off the plantation and you can even bear a gun and shoot back at folks that held you as property. Imagine how they would have thinking. They're your great-grandparents now and mine. And they heard 100 days, which would be January 1st, 1863. There had been promises before, but they were never fulfilled. And as time went on, the Confederates would not make the deal. And it got closer and closer and closer. And finally, we got to December 31st. And the slaves now, the enslaved, that had been dreaming and at the same time was anxious. You know how you are when you hope for something. But you try to not build your hope up so at the same time you got anxiety. Some of y'all go through that every day. Going to the mailbox, I hope the check comes, but you know how these things are, it takes time. So you try to talk yourself down. Well, when you're younger, hope the boy gonna call me, but he's probably busy. And you're looking at the cell phone. Hoping. And when December 31st came, they decided that they were all over the country going to watch and pray that midnight would strike and that Lincoln would keep his promise. Because at midnight, they could go from property to soldiers. At midnight, I can name my baby my last name. At midnight, I can marry the woman I love. At midnight, I become something more than somebody's property. At midnight, when the slave master could come in and rape my wife and I couldn't call, now I can bear arms and protect myself if I can just get to midnight. That's what Watch Night was about. Watch Night wasn't about no chitlins and hog maws. Watch Night wasn't about just having a holy service. It was about would they free us from chattel slavery. Remember, we ain't got to talk about that. Everybody talks about what they went through, so their children will appreciate that. That's why the Jewish community is right to talk about the Holocaust. That's why others are right to talk about what they went through. Why are you too ashamed to talk about what you've been through? I'm not ashamed to talk about what we went through because we were the victims. They ought to be ashamed of what they did. I'm proud of what we come through. When midnight came and Lincoln signed that Emancipation Proclamation and the slaves could walk off the plantation and bear arms, the North, the Union would have never won if we didn't go to the garrisons and to the ports and fight and back down the Confederate Army. And we wasn't just fighting for Lincoln, we were fighting for us. Because these were the folks that used to beat us and whip us. These were the folks that used to sleep with our daughters and our wives, and we couldn't say nothing. And now we could strike a blow for freedom. That's what we ought to be celebrating. But rather than tell your children what God did on December 31st, 1862, you out somewhere drunk and high and can hardly walk down the street because somebody done tricked you out of your glory. The movie Glory with Denzel was about the blacks that fought for the Union Army, but they done tricked you out your glory. That's why 150 years later you're calling yourselves niggas. That's why 150 years later you're calling your own women bees and hoes. You've been tricked out your glory. Now, let me get this right now, my New Year's message. Everybody didn't walk off the plantation. Some folks say, I'm not leaving here. Malcolm talked about that. Will you go and leave here and go where? We ain't got no house, we ain't got nothing. I'm gonna stay right here with Master. Master, all right? What's wrong with y'all? Y'all think y'all go down there and do what? Some of y'all were free, but still had a slave mentality. You go back in the Bible. Read Exodus 13 when God broke Pharaoh's grips and Moses marched them toward the Red Sea, and God delivered them even across the Red Sea. What the problem was not that they were still in Egypt. The problem was they had Egypt on the mind. All right. It don't matter if you get free, if you think like a slave. France gave the United States the Statue of Liberty. If you look at the original carvings, it was her breaking shackles. They celebrated America freeing the slaves. You tore the Statue of Liberty and don't even understand why it's there. Because you're too drunk and high on New Year's night. That you can't tell them to stand up for the principles that statue was given for. When you understand that, you look at where we are today in a different view. Why do I always talk about origins? Because All of this is how you think. I was raised in the black church. Let me tell you something. Started preaching Church of God in Christ when I was 4. Got in bread bags when I was 12. All of my life, I was around images of black men and women in charge of the institution. That's right. That's right. So my orientation was different. That's right. When I was 18, 19, James Brown kind of helped me with my youth group, on and on and on. I was not used to being treated like a slave. All right. So by the time I got to fighting and become known, I noticed other civil rights leaders would be sitting up in the room intimidated. I wasn't intimidated because people we meet wouldn't have never in charge of me. All right. Because it's a mentality. All right. I wasn't seeking their approval. Folks ask me, well, weren't you concerned about how the media would make you controversial? Half the papers that was writing against me, they weren't even selling them uptown. Folks I care about ain't reading your stuff. They don't even sell that stuff up here. Hello? You can't be free with a slave mentality. You can't be an activist if you're a reactivist. Where all you do is react. What do I mean by that? Something happens, you get mad, rah, 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 but no policy, no law change, no institution. You're not an activist, you're a reactivist. Somebody hit you, you respond. If they don't hit you, you are comfortable living in second-class citizenship. That's why we meet every week. We don't just meet when there's a crisis. We are in a crisis. We don't convene when people tell me, Reverend, we gear up when we facing something. We wake up every day facing something. We're doubly unemployed. Our schools is the worst. They're gentrifying our communities. They have a digital divide, and we are way behind learning how to use technology. And you got to wait on somebody to shoot you to get active. You got a president tweeting every day the ugliest stuff that you could think of. This year, you had a president comparing neo-Nazis to folks marching against Confederate statues. But if you don't know the history of New Year's Eve, you won't know why it is an insult to have Robert E. Lee's statue. But if you understand Robert E. Lee, the only reason his name is known is he fought and coordinated armed insurrection to keep my great-granddaddy and yours as his property. The only reason. He wasn't the president of the United States. He was a Confederate treasonous general. And you gonna act like it's the same thing for those that would fight for him as those that would fight for freedom? And he's the president of the United States. And they normalized this insanity. Have you ever thought we'd get to the place where the name of the president is a racial taunt? I mean, the other day, where some young kids looked at some others that were of a different race, looked like immigrants, and all they yell is Trump, Trump, Trump. That's their way of calling them names. In other words, we gonna get you. So the president's name is a racial attack. That's how low down they got. But if you got a slave mentality, You somewhere looking at the housewives of Philadelphia because they program you to slave entertainment. You blow your mind if you watch news too much. There's too much stress for you. Watch the housewives. It's more appealing for you to watch folks snatching each other's wigs off their head and see if Mary Jane got extensions this week and see how homegirls weave look. That's your mentality. You're a slave. You ain't got to worry about the tax bill. You ain't got to worry about infrastructure. Worry about what color your nail polish gonna be. You're a slave. The master figure all that out. Stay out the big house, lest we need you to make some biscuits. Oh, forgot. We getting ready to eat because we got the biscuits and we got the corn and we got the collard green. So go get that little preacher, come in here and bless it. Because I understand y'all sanctify. And y'all come and sanctify master's meals rather than call the master to task for his wickedness. And they got the nerve to act like God called you to be a slave preacher rather than God called you to free the slaves. I'm going to show you how to prosper under slavery. I'm going to show you how you can make it under slavery. I know you're shackled, but I'm going to get you some 14-karat gold chains. I don't want no diamond-studded chains. I want freedom. Imagine, did you just put it in your mind now? Go back to 1860. Imagine if you could just go back in time zone, 1860. And they dropped you in a time capsule. In 1860, you had a plantation in South Carolina. And you know all of what's going to happen in the future. And you say, I'm going down to the slave quarters. Because I know they planning. I know they getting ready to fight. I know they getting ready because emancipation is going to be 2 years from now. And you get down to the slave quarters, they're woo, 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 enjoying their slavery. Well, that's how you look in 2017. What all they doing to you. And you sitting up here planning on how you gonna get outside your mind tomorrow night. Some of y'all planning right now on what party you going to, what alcohol you gonna drink, what drugs you gonna take. I mean, bragging about it, I'm gonna be blasted this time tomorrow. I'm gonna be lit. I ain't even gonna know it's 18 till halfway to January. Slave celebrations. But when you're free, you can enjoy yourself, but don't lose yourself. You can celebrate without calibrating your quest for freedom. When you're free, you can look at the news and not get depressed, but get determined. You can look at what Trump said and know I'm going to counter him somehow. I know Trump. We come out the same city. We come out the same city, the same time, rose the same way. I know how to fight Trump. I'm not going to fight his battle. Told y'all the other week, the reason David could beat Goliath is he did not fight the way Goliath thought he would fight. Goliath was ready for one kind of infantry battle. He wasn't ready for a slingshot. He wasn't ready for smooth stones. God gives you a way to fight every giant if you get past your slave mentality and let God make your way. One of the things that I learned in the church is all we had is the faith and strength of our faith that did not even make sense to know that somehow God was going to break these chains if we were strong enough to hold on. Sometimes the battle seems long, but the victory certain. There's never been social change in the world that did not take time. But victory comes to those that endure and keep on keeping on. Somewhere I read, don't grow weary in well-doing. Don't grow weary. Why would the Bible say that? Because they knew you were going to get tired. They knew that it going to burden you down. They knew mornings would come that you'd say, how long am I going to have to go through this? Don't be weary and well-doing. We will reap if we faint not. And I'm telling you, we can't faint now. We've been through slavery. We can't faint now. We've been through Ku Klux Klan. We can't faint now. We've been through sitting on the back of the bus. We can't faint now. We've been through drinking out of separate water fountains. We can't faint now. We've been through lynchings and rapings and killings. We can't faint now. We've been through stuff rougher than Trump. We can't faint now. How long the road ahead is, but I know the road behind us is long, and we can't go back. I don't know how far ahead we got to go, but I know we can't go back. And I know we didn't come this far to turn around now. I've seen too much to turn around now. I stood in the square in Johannesburg in 1994. And I watched them lower the flag of apartheid and raise the ANC flag and announce Nelson Mandela had ran and won and went from prisoner to president. I was in South Africa that night. I stood in Washington and watched a black man put his hand on the Bible in January of 2009 and become the president of the United States. On Lincoln's Bible, who signed the Emancipation Proclamation January 1st, 1863, from Johannesburg to Washington. I've been right there. I've seen too much to let a few little trumpets break my spirit. I know we can win. I know we can win. That's why every day I get up and I think about what I've been through. Somebody say, Red Mal, you've been out here a long time. Yep, God will give you a long distance runner. I ain't no sprinter, I'm a long distance runner. I ain't no 50-yard dasher, I'm a marathon runner. But I ain't giving up till I break the victory ribbon. I'm going to keep on running. Somewhere I read, I used to hear the old folks saying, believe I'll run on. See what the end gonna be. I was listening and I let you go I was listening to some of y'all get this temporary, how's-it polished, sophisticated stuff. You know, both my daughters went to schools I didn't go through, so, you know, they can interpret stuff a little differently. And then Dominique married a PhD, you know, they can analyze all that. But some of us just get it wrong. That's why I like James Brown. You know, Bravon and all them study music and they go through all this musicology. James Brown would just grunt, And we all knew what that was. Some stuff you didn't have to explain. We just know what it was. And I was listening to Shirley Caesar told that story about how they used to have this polished church, Victorian. They didn't allow all that grunting and amening and jumping and carrying on. You know, y'all do it in here sometimes like it's church. And they don't do all of that in there. But they had this one man that every time they'd have service, actually, he'd jump up. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. And they said, we don't do that here. What is he doing? He's shouting in the church. Come back the next week. Thank you. Hallelujah. They said, we don't allow it. Finally, they decided they was going to have to meet with him and tell him, you can't act like that. We are a sophisticated, polished, educated church. And they got a little group of the deacons, and they went out and found him on his farm. And they went out, and he was walking his mule. And as he was walking his mule, they went out to the field, and they said, brother, can we talk to you? He said, yes, sir, thank the Lord. They say, that's what we're going to talk to you about. You know, we appreciate you coming to the service, and we appreciate your tithes, and we appreciate you giving and all. We appreciate everything you do, but you're a little too emotional. You're a little too passionate. You're a little too expressive. And if you can't cool down, we really don't need you disrupting our service. And he said, yeah, I understand it. I notice y'all look at me kind of funny. He said, but you don't know what God done for me. He put food on my table. I was sick on my way to deathbed, and he healed my body. And my children went astray, but he brought them back in. And when I think of the goodness of God and all he done for me, he said, if you hold my mule, I'll shout right here. I want somebody at midnight tomorrow night, wherever I am, just hold my mule. I want to thank him because my enemies didn't get me. I want to thank him because my critics couldn't stop me. Hold my mule. Hold my mule. I'll thank him by myself. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. One more time, Lord. One more time, Lord. Everybody sing it. Everybody sing it. Everybody sing it. Everybody sing it. I'm opening the doors of the movement. There may be someone here today on the last Saturday of the year that wants to become a member of the National Action Network. If you're here, never join. Don't let 17 catch you outside of the membership door. Just come to me right now, and I'll sign you up right now on the last Saturday. Let's go in the new year together. Come on. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Yeah. I'm going to raise our offering. Many of you listening on radio that want to help as we go in the new year, you can call 1-877-626-4651. 1-877-626-4651 and contribute to National Action Network. I want all of you also in Radio Land as we go off to remember in prayer the family of Erica Snipes Garner. All right, I'm going to raise our offering moving quickly. I see it's snowing, and I'm going to let y'all get your little intermission, go right into Kwanzaa as I head to this retreat. So we raised first quarter money for National Action Network. They retreat every year. We're going to get these businessmen to come right back, and we're going to have a great send-off for Erica this week. We'll be announcing that. All right, let's raise our offering quickly. I need 10 people, 10 that can give $100 or more. Come first, quickly. Winston Gilchrist, $100. Come on, quickly. Guardians, $100. Cynthia, $100. Christine Dudley, $100. Alice Kelsey, $100. Come on, I need some more hundreds. 50. Brother John, Alvin Ponder, Don Jones, Rodney Jones, twenties. Your name, come quickly to the front. Phyllis Cleckley, Zariah Wilson, Rashida Ellis, and Keith Beckett. Give them a hand as they come. Give them a big hand as they come. Certainly we are happy as we close 2017, that you have joined and become part of this justice family. And we want you to work and do whatever you believe is right in this organization. They'll give you orientation on different committees, but you may have an idea that you always want to do, that you never, ever thought of, and I want you to do it here. And I want you to feel part of the family. I want this brother here, let me show people this. Y'all get this on the TV now. This brother brought me some albums that his Aunt B. Beatrice Jones had from back in days. These are rare and very, very, very important albums. Dr. Martin Luther King, Sam Cooke, King speeches. And he said he didn't know their value until he looked it up, and he brought it and gave it to us for Christmas. Y'all got that? And he's a member here now. Join and give him a hand. I'll be proud of you. All right, so we welcome all of you, this young sister, and y'all, we welcome y'all part of the family, and let's work together. Face the audience and welcome them to the National Action Network. Give them a big hand. Give them a big hand. All right, you can go to your seats. Let everybody stand. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Next to you, repeat after me. We're an African people, robbed of our names, our language, our families, our self-respect, but we shall rise, never to fall again. Up, you mighty race, we can accomplish what we will. No justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. Shake hands with the one you hold and shake my hand on the way out.
You better give me 4? Yeah. I have some people that they need to get that thing. Okay?